Elders, a grouping of independent global leaders, has called for a national dialogue in Zimbabwe, dismissing attempts by President Emmerson Mnangagwa for the ever-quarreling politicians to converge under the Political Actors Dialogue, POLAD. There have been a number of attempts in the past few months to find ways of ending Zimbabwe's 2 decades-old political, economic, and humanitarian crisis with South Africa and the African Union, the AU, among others, calling for an external intervention to address the problems. However, President Emmerson Mnangagwa's administration has angrily responded to the demands, saying there is no crisis in Zimbabwe, but just challenges. Mnangagwa said political parties calling for national dialogue should instead join POLAD, his brainchild consisting of some losing presidential hopefuls in the 2018 elections. However, a number of politicians, including the MDC Alliance leader Nelson Chamisa, have snubbed the offer. In a statement this week to mark 3 years since the formation of the National Citizens Convention, Mary Robinson, the chair of the Elders, said Zimbabwe required national inclusive dialogue to end her crisis. The work of the National Citizens Convention is more essential than ever. Rebuilding Zimbabwe requires dialogue, solidarity, inclusivity, transparency, and accountability. Robinson, a former president of the island, said, "This can only be done if the rule of law is upheld, human rights are respected, and no impunity is afforded to those behind abductions, torture, perversion of the course of justice, and violence." Other members of the Elders are Ben Ki-moon, Graça Machel, the first education minister in Mozambique, and Lakada Brahimi, a former Algerian foreign minister and UN diplomat. The late South Africa President Nelson Mandela is the founder of the organization. Robinson said, Zimbabwe can only be built if the rule of law is upheld, the human rights are respected, and no impunity is afforded to those behind abductions, torture, perversion of the course of justice, and violence. Her statement came at a time the state continued to torment journalist Hope Chingono, who was arrested this week on charges of defeating the cause of justice. He is currently in remand prison at the notorious Chikurubi Maximum Security Prison, where he spends most of the time in leg irons and handcuffs. Robinson said, to end Zimbabwe's crisis, there was need for a comprehensive and inclusive national dialogue. This can only be done if the rule of law is upheld, human rights are respected, and there is no impunity afforded to those behind abductions, torture, and violence. The path ahead is challenging, but I salute your resilience.